Welcome back to VidaVision. It's like the Great British Bake Off went horribly wrong on my face. So in our last video, we did this to my face. Now, it looks a little bit drastic, but this is the main contouring and highlighting, and we're sort of letting that bake in while we do eyes. There's a good reason for this. All this loose powder around here will catch any colour fallout, which hopefully there won't be, but it just stops it mixing with your foundation and making a horrible, unholy mess. The first thing I'm going to do with my eyes is, I've got MAC Full Coverage Studio Foundation, which is a really, really thick, lovely, this is so dirty, I'm so sorry. This is their Pure White. This has been on the go for about 2 years. So it lasts, you can't complain about it not lasting. And I also am using a MAC Prep and Prime brush. Now this was it's like MAC's version of Touche Eclat, which is a sort of highlight with a nice fine brush. I actually have another one of these at home, which is being used for what it's intended for, but I really like the brush on the end of it, and I haven't found a replacement for this very, very soft brush. So what I'm going to do is, over the eyebrows that we smoothed out, I'm going to go over them with this white, but I'm going to go slightly above them, because that will become our brow highlight there. Now, there's an old rule where brows are concerned that they don't have to be twins as long as they're sisters. Half the time, mine won't even go on a chat show together. You don't need to go too close to the eye with it because you're going to be putting darker colours in there anyway. And then repeat on the other side. I'm never going to claim to be a makeup artist, but I have so much respect for makeup artists because I know my face. I know what works on my face. But for a makeup artist to be able to adapt to new faces on the fly like that, I have so much respect because that's a whole other skill. Doing your own is not like doing someone else's, trust me. So what we do when we put something wet on is we always set it with something dry. So I'm going in with some of the white powder, Shivering White by MAC, and I'm setting these white bits in place. They don't have to be too neat because we are going to neaten those up at the end. These are just here to provide a really strong highlight and a nice base to make the colour pop. So I'm going to do that. That is now set nicely in place. I appreciate it does look rather odd at this point, but we are going to start on the eyes. Today I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Alyssa Edwards palette, and she is also not afraid of colour. There are some beautiful bold colours in here, but there's also some really nice nudes and a nice brown, which I'll probably be using for my brows. So even if you ignore these bright colours, you know, there's something in here for everybody. Anastasia Beverly Hills do wonderful colours in their palettes. They are so richly pigmented, absolutely gorgeous, really love them. I'm going to go in with the colour Texas Made first, which is this gorgeous hot pink. So I'm going to go in with this Illamasqua IL185 brush, and what I'm going to do first is follow the shape of my brow bone round from the inside to the outside. So we're going to sort of fan out there, and then we're going to come down quite sharply and curve it round, and then we're going to do that on the other side. And for the purposes of my girl makeup, this is going over, you can just see the hairs in there, this is going over what would have been my brows, or what were my brows once upon a time, before we hid them. Okay, so we've put that initial layer of colour on. Next thing, I can't even see the number on this brush, but this is a NYX brush. It's a little short, stubby one. usually used for smoking out colours, but what I'm going to do is, in true Alyssa Roberts fashion, I'm going to go, how does she say it? I'm going to go with the colour Beast, which is a lovely rich black. Now, one thing I was saying just before we started this video is not all black eyeshadows are created equal. This is a gorgeous, rich pigmented black one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little light dot above each eye. Trust me on this, there is method to my madness. So that's roughly in the middle of each one. Now, what I'm going to do, just under the pink, I'm going to go up, drawing that line, and then curve it down and join the corner of the eye. This is going to basically be like a fake cut crease, because I have quite hooded eyes, so we're just going to fake that. And it does kind of look very bold, very threatening right now, but trust me, this is going to end up looking really nice. Okay, so those shapes are kind of reminiscent of Jessica Rabbit's eyes, so I'm now going to go in with the colour Dream It, which is this gorgeous royal blue. You can probably tell what I'm going to do here. I'm going to use pink and royal blue, and then I'm going to blend them with the purple. What we're going to do is we're going to go in under the eye here, and we're just going to start painting that on. Now there is inevitably going to be a tiny bit of colour drop off. So we're going to go in at the bottom here, just going to slightly swoop that out. Basically, the more dark colour you have around the eye, the bigger your eye's going to look. So we're not going right round to the inner corner with this, we're just doing a little bit of blue. Another colour combo I quite like. I seem to wear hot pink an awful lot on the eye. One of the other colour combos I like to do is the sort of neon pink and turquoise. So you want to sort of bring this round halfway towards your inner corner. Next step, I'm going to go back with our pink, and we're just going to blend that black a little into the pink. Okay, that was reasonably blended. I'm going to use a combination of Believe and DDG. One's a flat violet, one is a glittery violet. We're just going to use that to blend the pink and the blue together. It's going to look really nice. Work with me. So I'm kind of packing it on in that corner there. There we go. It doesn't look hugely neat yet, but like, it's like when you're styling a wig, there's going to be a point where it looks dreadful, and you work through it, and it just comes out really nice. I'm actually going to go in with a little bit of blue and put it inside that black layer that we did, just to bring more blue to it, because I like blue. So next we're going to take this Stumpy Smoking Brush again, back into that black eyeshadow, and we're going to just go over really, not even that neatly, just get right into the inner corner there. This is the one time I don't like having blonde hair, is that my lashes and my brows are blonde. Strangely, you would think blonde would make it easier to hide my brows. I've got a friend with jet black hair and jet black lashes. His eyebrows just hide really easily. It's something to do with the texture of the hair. So I'm going to go back on this one. Like we said before, the more dark colour you have around your immediate eye area, the bigger your eyes are going to look, and that is what we're trying to do here. We're changing the proportions of your face. So the bigger you make your eyes look, the better. Eyes are like, what's it that girl said in that film? The eyes are the nipples of the face. So when you're doing your black, I tend to sort of just extend it up at the corner a little bit so that it meets up with that black line that we had there earlier. Blend that in a little bit. If you do decide that you want to strengthen that black line a little, if you blended it a little too much, like I have, I'll just sort of fill that in there. We'll start tying this all together now. This is a reasonably new product. This is MAC Dazzle Shadow. It comes in a little pack like that. You unpack it and it comes out like that. I think there's about 8 or 10 shades of this. This one is called Stars in My Eyes. It is a beautiful silver. They all come with a spongy applicator like that, which makes it super easy and super precise to put on. I absolutely adore this product. It is one of my new must-haves. So MAC Dazzle Shadow Liquid, go get it. So you can see when I just add a little fleck of it there, it's got a really good coverage. So I'm gonna go in, we'll start at the inner corner, and this is why we didn't go all the way into the inner corner with the blue on the underlayer. We're actually going to sort of bring that slightly along a little, which is going to trick the light into making our eyes look bigger. So what we're doing here is we are basically filling in our fake enlarged eyelid. Same kind of thing as the contouring, it's faking a shadow being there. So we've changed the shape of the eye. We're going for a bit of a sort of Cher meets Jessica Rabbit. So we're going to just do the same on the other side. But like, one of the reasons I love this product is I have to go over it a million times. It just glides on. Okay, so that's your basic colouring. I'm just going to blend that a little bit that way. Just to soften all these transitions. This is actually the exact makeup I wore for my gig this week. I did a wedding and it was beautiful. Okay, so we're going in with the brows now. Again, there's lots of different ways you can do your brows. Watch me get this wrong on camera. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm going to use this little angled brush. It's a nice thin one. It's also got that on the end of it, like a little sort of mascara brush, so you can brush it and blend it. I'm going to confess I hate doing my brows. There's been many different brow trends over the years. I tend to do my brows as if I'm from the era of very thin arched brows. Today I'm going to use the colour Back Rolls. Back Rolls. So you want to start that somewhere near where your original brow started, and then you have to fake confidence when you're doing a brow because you can't have it all stuttery. So you want to go up a nice arch, a sharp arch, and down. So you do that one line first, and then you just slightly thicken this end of it, just a little. Like I say, there's other queens out there that are much better at this bit than me. I absolutely detest doing my brows, so what I do is I tend to put them on and then I'll put highlight over them to sort of fade them a little bit so they're not too browy. And that way if you make a mistake on them, you can like just cover a little bit, make them more subtle. Not perfect, but it'll do. So that is eyes and brows. But the eyes aren't actually finished yet because we first need to dust this face. This is a Sephora 842 brush. Now it's big, it's fat, and it's quite floppy and jiggly. It is the softest thing. It just, oh, it feels so nice. So I'm gonna start in the middle of the forehead, and we're just gonna go over all of that loose powder. Like I say, with the brows, these are going to get slightly blended in anyway, so don't be afraid. And then you always take it on the diagonal when you do the cheekbones, so you're not bringing any of that colour down or any of the white up. You just want, if you do it on the diagonal in line with that swoop line, it's only going to accentuate that, which is brilliant. That's what we want. Okay, that's our blending. If you want to re-accentuate that nose contour ever so slightly, or you want to just make that pop again, you can. My blush of choice is NARS Super Orgasm. It's basically that orgasm blush, but with added glitter. I've got a nice Kevyn Aucoin blush brush here. Really get some of that on the go, and then we basically go just above that contour line. Just brings a little bit of pink and puts a little bit of life back in the face. And again, if you do find that you've overdone the blush at any point, just run your finishing brush over it again. Okay, so the final thing you need to do now that you've dusted the face, the reason we didn't do this before the dusting of the face, we're getting all that loose colour off, and we're neatening up the eyes with an eyeliner. This is Kat Von D's tattoo liner, and I have tried a lot of liners out there. It is a liquid liner with a very fine brushy tip. There was a similar one I used to this that was a bit cheaper, and the formula was so liquidy it would find tiny micro wrinkles and just drift. This goes exactly where you want it. So what we're going to do is we're going to start just underneath where we did the silver. I'm just going to look in the mirror here so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to go just underneath that in a roughly straight line till you join up with your waterline. And then when you follow that curve, just keep going. Then in line with this, straight across the top onto the eyelid, and then just fill in. And then here we go, we're going to re-accentuate this line here. And then curve it down. Just fill that in like that. Okay, so that is the eye done. I'm just going to soften any black that's here. A little whisper over there. The aim is to make that hidden crease just pop. Join us in the next video where we're going to do lips and finishing touches. Until then, stay safe, stay sane, and stay Vidalicious.